And we are calling on the stage to Miss Dr. Srividya Sukumar from United Arab Emirates, who is a governance advisor, QA expert, also author, and not the least United Nations Global Ambassador and ESG advocate. Please, Dr. Srividya Sukumar, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mihir. Thanks for the wonderful welcome. Namaste to all. I represent UAE, but I belong to the country of India. I'm so happy to be amidst you all, definitely on this platform and empowering Asia. So when we talk about empowering Asia, empower her as such. So when we talk about that, basically what it involves is talking about women. When we talk about women, each one of us is so proud and is so happy to join on this platform as I do amidst you all today. Thank you. So without, I owe a sincere thank to IIU and also Ms. Ermina, who has taken this initiative of connecting us on this platform. So this is basically, I'm a G20 person, so I would like to present my views on G20 related to the G20 aspect of it. So this is, hope my screen is visible, and I'm going to go to the slideshow. It's going to be a little longer, so if at all I'm ahead of time or if you really want me to stop sharing, you'll have to let me know. Well, coming to the empowerment of women, it's basically women in the economic representation. That's what is actually required in the worldwide or countrywide. So in that note, Empower Alliance, which is related to the G20 Alliance of Empowerment and Progression of Women Economic Representation across the globe, is on accelerating women leadership and empowerment in all the private sectors, such that we will be able to achieve the SDG 5 of gender equality on empowering all women and girls worldwide. And this is a history, but it is definitely a call to the action, but not a blueprint for the future. That means we cannot blindly follow it. It has an evolution process and it will go accordingly. So as we all know, SDG 5 strives for gender equality and empowerment of women and girls. It is predicated on all forms of discrimination against women. We have seen all those discrimination which was spoken and elated very clearly, very diplomatically in this forum by the previous speakers. So elimination of all forms of violence against women and girls, including harmful practices such as child, early and forced marriages. So to achieve this gender equality and empowering all women and girls, it's not a fundamental human right, but it is a necessary foundation for peace and prosperous and sustainable world. So there has been little progress over the decade. That's what we are going to see here. To achieve gender equality and empowering all women and girls, that's on track. That's what we have seen. The world is not on track to achieve the gender equality by 2030, which is the actual target that we should achieve as such. Why? Because only these are the spotlights that we need to focus on. Only 1 in 5 women and girls who are aged between 15 to 49 reported experiencing physical and sexual violence by intimate partner within a period of 12-month period. Only 47% of, in comparison as such, 47% of women, 6% of men, homicide victims worldwide intentionally killed by the intimate partner or the family member. Look at the alarming number of women who are being killed. 49 countries have no laws specifying protecting women from domestic violence. 37 countries exempt rape penetrators from prostitution if they are married or subsequently to marry the victim. So this is the actual violence statistics which has been going on. So on average of about the women do as 3 times as unpaid care and domestic work as women. This is a mandatory thing which is going on, which has no future, or we don't know what is going to happen in the future. But this is actually what is going on as today. Unpaid care and domestic women, where women and girls perform bulk of unpaid care and domestic work. Combined with the paid work, this leaves women and girls working for longer hours with less time for rest, self-care, learning and other activities. And when we talk about the future, we talk about political participation. So taking that into account as well. But is this going to change? In that, the next spotlight is only 52% of women married or in a union freely can make their own decisions about consensual sexual relations or about the health care. So in that case, the women face various barriers in exercising their sexual and reproductive health rights. So migrants, I think people have spoken about the menstrual periods and the time which has been given. And look at the alarming numbers in different countries. How about if we talk about only 52% in the worldwide, the country-wise percentage is already given there, with Southern Africa is 60.9, Asia is 68.5, Eastern Africa is 49, Middle Africa is 26.8, Europe is 71.3, Western Africa is 29.6, and Latin America and Caribbean islands is 70.8. So on the whole, only 52% of women are allowed to make this decision on themselves in taking care of their own security and safety. So women in leadership, that's what the highlight is all about. So in politics, in 2000 it started talking about women in national parliament and other roles. 2000 it had only 13.2. In 2017 it is about 23.4, and over then 39% of the countries worldwide has some form of quota says that to increase women representation in politics. But in the management it is 1 out of 3. In the senior management positions that are held by women. So look at the number. If the 3 is the women, that's 1/3 of the position is given to women. So 47% of the women business leaders are in favor of general quotas on corporate boards. So the women remain underrepresented in all the leadership and the management level positions in public and private sectors. While the quotas have been implemented to boost women participation in politics and the corporate boards, but when it's going to become the actual reality, that's a question. So implementing the gender equity in policies to hire, retain and promote women, this will really help, and ensuring visibility of women regardless in their office or at home environment means even at home, even if they're working from home, that should be made visible as at the women entrepreneurs, and they should be encouraged. Leveraging the multiplier effect where 1 woman in the C-suite is correlated with 3 women in senior management roles, tapping the return to work talent pool. Organizations in banking, capital markets, investment management, insurance and real estate are again reminded of specific tips to be taken or the programs to be impelled to continue to train and mentor the women staff and to develop a pipeline of talent to promote women in senior management or C-suite roles with a vision of 2030. If we do all these things, there is a possibility that we will reach somewhere to 2030. So why do we need to do that? Because when more women work, economies grow. Women economic empowerment boosts productivity, increase economic diversification, income equality in addiction and other positive developmental outcomes. For example, increasing women employment rates in OECD countries to match out of the Sweden and could boost the GDP percentage by over USD 6 trillion. So recognizing, however, the growth does not automatically lead to the reduction in the gender-based inequality. Conversely, it is estimated the gender gaps cost the economy of 15% of the overall GDP as about. So how do we implement it? So if these are the alarming numbers, if these are the threats that need to be addressed in our SWOT analysis, what should be done and what could be done is that the 4 areas where the financial inclusion community can contribute to the women empowerment such that we will be taking it forward. So when we talk about women economic empowerment, that's going to take to the more of bank accounts. It's not that. Definitely bank accounts are the powerful tools in the hands of women who are determined to take more control over their lives. They should be given more clear knowledge about the digital access and data. We know, practically speaking, those women who are having these high fund of phones, they are not able to handle. If we talk about GPay, they will not be knowing how to handle the GPay payment, whereas they will be taking somebody's help for making that payment, where that is always a threat of being fooled or being ridiculed there. So in that case, the digital access and the data women should be made very clear about these things, and also the usage of these things, such that the digital economy is becoming a bigger part of our lives. So to take the advantage of the economic opportunities in the digital economy, women need to be made or able to make and receive payments. At the most basic level, women require an access to the simple trinity factors to engage the digital economy in terms of a simple bank account, a phone, cash in and cash out CICO network. They should be aware of this. So the Financial Inclusion Committee tends to focus on the gender gap for the amounts, but there is also a significant gap around the phone ownership. So in the lower and the middle income countries that we're talking about, right as on date, women are 8% less likely to own even a phone, a normal phone, than men, that 20% is less likely to own a smartphone. So if we are going to address these kind of things, say the government can come up with policies giving a free own for phone for the women gender, so that will really help them. And and then bank accounts, how to create the bank accounts, to have a knowledge awareness campaign. So all these the primary gateway to the internet for the most poor countries. So secondly, the laws and the social norms. When we talk about the laws and social norms that normally affect the women's ability to use the financial services to improve their life, lack of property rights prevent women from obtaining loans in many markets. Women we're not able to obtain loans in many markets, and the lack of ID makes it difficult for the women to access those accounts in number of markets. So women still face these legal barriers to obtaining ID. According to the World Bank Women Business Law Index, on average, the woman has only 3/4 of the legal rights afforded to men, despite the recent progress in closing the gender gap. So the capacity and essential services to be focused on. What is the key thing is education and skills and foundation to building the better future for women and families. According to the Global Partnership of the Education in the World Bank, an additional year of school women can result in 20% of the increase in the income, and the child or the man with a 50% or more likely to or the age 5. So the return on the investment from educating women is high, and the financial services like payments, saving, credit can make it more easier for the poor households to pay for the school fees and other essential services. So in addition, women will be helped in acquiring knowledge and taking care of their societies. So the financial services that will help women to spend more time on the workforce that is required. So when we do this, normally the general threat is that social safety nets and the networks, which is always a threat for women in the society. Safety nets to give women the security, they need to take the advantage of the opportunities that come their way, and should be formally implemented such that they are more safe in using these things. I'm going a little fast because there's so much to cover. So the low rate of women economic representation is still a lingering problem despite the efforts which have been made and witnessed. So published in July 22, the World Economic Forum, WEF, with the Global Gender Gap Report projected it will take 132 years to reach the full gender parity based on the current rate of the global progress, with further challenges triggered by COVID-19 pandemic and evolving global economic crisis. Along with that, the International Labour Law, ILO, noted as of February 2022, the global labor force participation, the rate of women is under 47%, representing 25 percentage points difference compared to men. Moreover, the share of women in the leadership positions show less convincing posture in solving these complex challenges. Also, the World Economic Forum noted that globally, women take up just over third, that is 36.9% of the leadership role, the figure that is only 3.6% higher reported in 2016. Women representation in the top leadership positions is even more constrained, with women accounting for just 4.8% of the chief executive officers, that is CEOs or other C-suite roles in other Fortune 500 companies. These problems indicate the efforts to pay the gender parity will need to be accelerated to avoid losing another decade of prosperous. So the wild labor market picture is still more challenging, stands in contrast with the slow progress of the total parity in the leadership positions. progress in workforce participation is still stalling, and the financial inequality shows the signs of increase. The global labor force participation rate for women is just over 50% when compared to 80% of men. Analysis also reveals a gap of about 40% difference in the wage levels. 50% in the income is still to be bridged. So the other challenges found in respect to the access of the digital technology for women, the global analysis revealing 2.3 billion of women without internet access and more than 1.7 billion who do not own a mobile phone, or 200 million fewer than men on other mobile and phone access. So the data provided fresh impetus for the action of the governments, investors and private sector businesses, workers and their organizations and NGOs. And the evidence shows that economic slowdown disproportionately impact women in exacerbating and existing inequalities and causing the gender equality initiatives to strip down the government and the corporate agendas. So that's how this G20...
Sorry, can you conclude in maximum 2-3 minutes, please?
Definitely. Thanks for that, and thanks for that. That's what I said, that it's so vast as such. And I've got a very beautiful video to show, which I will not be going in for, and because it is going to be little, again, it will take time. So I will try and do it for you as such. And so when we talk about women empowerment, I would like to conclude, say that I think women is truly powerful when she knows how powerful are her own aptitude, when she knows the realm in which she wants to leverage her capacities, and when she takes a decision for herself, that's the power. And every woman who is conscientious and every woman who is conscious of her own capacity, and one who knows that there is a cost to pay for being abrasive enough to be just herself, she is definitely a powerful woman. And the biggest, I think, is disservice we do to women across the communities when we define her power, again, from the perspective of a corporate position, a bank balance of a status, or due to a relationship. The minute she is going to take a decision for herself, non-apologetic of the women or of the society or the community that she belongs, then she becomes a powerful woman. Because often women are burdened with the pursuit of decision making, as how the decision affects everybody else first, then herself. She put others in front than taking such that. If we eradicate all these possibilities, and when we have the audacity to take a decision, when women have the audacity to take the decision for themselves without even bothering of being judged, definitely this will really pay for a woman to lead the country and to lead the society. So that is my concluding remarks and concluding note on which I would like to conclude today's session. I owe a sincere thanks to IIU for that, and definitely if time permits, I would like to rejoin, and such that I will end it up with all the strategies and all the other strategies or the policies which can come up through to make the gender equality the best as such as the implementation process. Thank you so much. Thanks IIU for the wonderful opportunity. Thanks Mr. Mihir. If I have taken long, my sincere apologies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Dr. Srividya Sukumar from United Arab Emirates, and also India, for your presentation, which were so professional made, with a lot of statistics, with a lot of bullet points, which highlight main ideas in this topic. And congratulations, it was so academic, let's say, and professional. And